Okay, this morning we've been looking at all things economy, really. Everything seems to link into the economy. Yesterday we were speaking about food scarcity and the role that scarcity of funds to even buy any kind of food product, how they all factor into each other. Okay, today we'll take another arm of it. I'm talking here about the Binance exchange. The Binance exchange, many Nigerians, well, I don't know how to put that, some Nigerians will know, is an online exchange where users can trade cryptocurrencies. This Binance exchange platform actually has its own blockchain, as these things they are known, BNB. But I guess what's important for extraction for this particular conversation is that following the Monetary Policy Committee meeting, the central bank director has declared that there's a lot going on with Binance that is not as transparent as it needs to be. Consequently, they were stopping operations with them. And then Binance has got into one trouble or the other. People who have followed the news will know that Binance has pleaded guilty to and has agreed to pay $4.3 billion to settle criminal money laundering charges that have been levied by the U.S. Department of Justice. The founder of Binance, he pled so, and he pleaded guilty and has agreed to step down from his position. His criminal trial is scheduled to, has been postponed to the 30th of April. So Binance in a lot of headwinds. And then on top of all of that, two executives of theirs flew into the country, as is probably well known by now, earlier in the week. And, following interactions with our security officers, especially led by the NSA's office, they have been detained. I understand that an order has been obtained whereby they are allowed to be detained for 12 days. They have not satisfied the Nigerian, hosts as to the questions that were asked and have said that take us to our embassies. We don't have anything to say until we get to our embassies. Nigeria has levied a hefty fine on them, and we don't know where that is right now. But I suppose it's important to know that the Securities and Exchange Commission said that they are not registered by them nor regulated by them. And this points to the $26 billion that the central bank governor has said that has just passed through Binance and that we don't have any idea of where it came from. Okay, enough from me. That's by way of background. And now to get a sort of insight and personal perspective into the effect of this and what Binance is an expert of ours. He's a man of many hats. At one time, Dr. Banwo, he's a lawyer, he's a public affairs analyst, and I'm now bringing him in for his expertise in as far as this currency, I beg your pardon, these crypto exchanges are concerned. A fine morning to you, Dr. Banwo.
Good morning, Negbo. Good to see you again.
Our pleasure always. So tell me your, especially when you see a lot, I don't believe that cryptocurrency has exactly become like pure water, as we say locally. So to a lot of people, it's probably going to be a bit on the esoteric side. Beyond knowing that, well, it has to do with this new money they're talking about. You can't trace it, and governments all over the world generally don't like it. But in particular, Binance does not operate in the US and the UK because of, how shall we put it, regulatory difficulties. Now, Dr. Banwo, tell me your impression of Binance and the action that Nigeria has taken.
Well, thank you so much, Egbo, for having me again. It's been a while, and I'm excited to be here.
Our pleasure.
Yes, I think first we need to clarify some things here, because even you just made some what I would consider some inaccurate statements. Binance is actually operational in the US, even right now. I still use it right now as I'm talking to you. I have an account there. But before we go into it, I really want especially the youths to really understand these issues, because the way it's been taken on Twitter is almost as if the federal government is trying to deprive them of their source of livelihood.
Okay,
we need to understand.
Okay, I beg your pardon. I do beg your pardon. I take the point that you made that it still exists in the U.S. I should have properly said its operations are limited in the U.S. and the U.K.
Yes, it's actually, yes, it's better regulated. Thank you so much for that. So I want us to understand this. It's about time Nigeria resists the rape of our economy by Binance and other cryptocurrency platforms. I don't think this is about the government or anybody depriving our youths or people like us from making our money online. I do cryptocurrency, definitely, even right here in the US. I have an account on Binance. But the point is, the very same things that Binance was fined $4 billion for is what they are doing in Nigeria. And Nigeria is especially special over it in the sense that a lot of people may not know that Nigeria is #1 in cryptocurrency trading all over the world.
Well, that's right.
Some may not believe that. Go Google it. So US, that is #9, okay, in the world, not #8, not #7, not number 9, has decided to make sure they do not ruin their economy. The things they are doing in the US that they are fined $4 billion and their CEO was indicted for is what they are doing in Nigeria. So why shouldn't we have them arrested? I've been talking about Ikoyi economics and Fadeyi economics. This is where we use it. They have come to our country. Now we need to put Ikoyi approach on them, charge them properly so that the world can see what they've done, and then use the Fadeyi economy to hold them down. We will delay the trial until they pay all that money. Let me tell you guys something. This is what Binance is doing, and I'm speaking more to the youth to understand that this company and people like them are the ones winning our economy, and we need to react. And I'm very excited. People know that they will say I'm a supporter of this government during election, but I believe in my country, and I believe in what this government is doing. Binance, they were convicted in the US for failure to have an effective anti-money laundering program. We have anti-money laundering laws in Nigeria. They are violating it, violating currency trading laws of the US. They are trading Nigerian Naira.
Yes, exactly.
Where they get the license to do.
Exactly.
Okay? They are transacting stuff in the currency of Nigeria. They are violating all our laws, and they do it because our governments don't hold them accountable. So now that this government have said, no, we're not going to do that with you guys. You're going to pay. I think we should rally around them. There is nothing wrong with cryptocurrency trading by itself, but it needed to follow the rules of the countries operating on, so that they do not take advantage of our economy. Look at what they did to the Naira. Who are they to be setting the price of Naira with this their peer-to-peer thing they are doing?
Which is one of the main problems that the central bank had with them. They accused them of arbitrarily setting the Naira-dollar exchange rate.
100%. And they think Nigeria, because nobody forced them to order. That's why they can even be bold enough to travel down to Nigeria. If they know themselves, they should not have even come. But now that they've come, Nigeria should arrest them, charge them properly, let the charges be very public so that the world can see we are not doing jankara on them. Then we'll use our Fadeyi justice system where that trial will be delayed for years. I have some clients here, just because they transfer some currency money to their account, they've been in jail for 2.5 years. They have not even charged them for anything in America, because they are saying all the money they took out, all the transactions they did, they have to pay the money. Why should Nigeria be different? And this is where I think the youths can support our nation by talking about that. You can come, but you have to obey our law. So I'm with the CBN on this one. I think they are doing it right. Everybody comes in and takes advantage of us. And for those of you who are saying, oh, how can Nigeria find Binance when they are not in Nigeria? You don't know how international law works. If we charge them properly and we get them convicted, even US will help us to recover our money, because governments are all very wary of cryptocurrency ruining their systems. As good as all of us want it, I trade crypto. I'm not a hypocrite. I trade crypto, I have accounts, but I think they should follow the laws of the country they are operating in. And to me, Binance is a prime example. They are prioritizing building up their customer base over obeying the laws of the country they operate in. And that's one of the things that they are found guilty of in the U.S. And they are paying U.S. But when it comes to Nigeria, even we Nigerians, we are ridiculing ourselves, oh, they cannot pay us. Of course they will pay us. If the CBN governor decides to throw the book at them, charge them, there's at least 7 counts, okay, that exactly what they did in the U.S. that they've done with us. Like I've said before, they violated our money laundering laws. They have violated our SEC. They have violated our SEC laws. They have tampered with our currency. It is obvious. It is there. So why shouldn't they be held? All of them, Coinbase and all these other people. Because Nigeria will have a struggling economy. Many of us have turned to gamblers, which is that way. We are trying to figure out a way, just make money. So which is okay, but then they then come in, they take advantage of us. Sometimes on their exchange, when a Nigerian has a problem, you have nobody to go talk to. They just take your money and you go and they've turned Nigeria into, that's why a company like Omega Pro can come from Dubai, take over 200 billion naira from Nigeria's economy, an investment company that is a scam forex, but nobody's holding them accountable. I came to Nigeria to file charges against Omega Pro with EFCC. You know what they were telling me? The guys that they are saying, oh, they will give some money to Nigerians and then nothing will happen. But this time, I'm glad it's public.
Exactly.
All Nigerians should make sure our government do not let them go. They must pay. Because what they've done is exactly what they've been found guilty in the U.S.
Indeed. It's
so
interesting.
Nobody should tell me that
it's interesting when you said you came home to try and get them to be prosecuted by the EFCC, and they had, thrown you that horrible line about we'll just simply, spread some cash around and nothing will happen. It just reminds me of President Tinubu the other day in Qatar, and he got flack from it for some Nigerians. I wouldn't necessarily say most Nigerians, when the president said that, look, anybody asks you for anything that is improper, let us know about it. It's not business as usual. And a lot of people, you recall, gave the president a lot of flack. According to those ones, he was demarketing Nigeria. It's that we know the system. You've just spoken here. The president is streetwise, perhaps unlike a lot of ordinary presidents. He knows what's going on. And he said, look, if anybody tries any hanky-panky, they are on their own. It is not from us. I wouldn't be surprised if in the past people hadn't been, dropping the name of high government officials, not excluding the president in the shenanigans, that this must be done.
Let's be frank. Billion dollars that is being done. $26 billion done on Binance Nigeria just in the last 1 year alone.
Yes.
What do you think he's doing? The average youth doesn't have that kind of money. Some of them $1,000, $200 is what they are using.
Yes.
The people doing this are the banks and the governors. Let's just call it as it is. When they collect their allocations, they convert some of it into Forex and at whatever price. So I think while we should go after Binance 100%, I also think the president, and I believe in his sincerity on this matter, should prove to us that the government is serious. How come we have not had any banker arrested over this? The banks are the ones doing this stuff. How come we've not had any governor called to account? Or are they going to tell us they don't know that it's these governors that are converting their monthly allocations into dollars, into USDT? Let's be frank here. Let's call a spade a spade. People need to cooperate with our president. The president is not going to come from Aso Rock and start to be doing all this thing by himself. He has given the body language. I want this thing to be shut down.
Yes.
So let the EFCC director do what needs to be done. Let us see, because, hey, in Father year economics that I keep pushing, the only thing that deter people from coming to your neighborhood and putting trash in your compound is that you grab them and you deal with them in a violent way. Same way, if we are going to tidy up our economy, I'm not going to say let it be free for all and start to deal with people without the law, but we know all we need to stop some bankers, especially at the topmost levels, from collaborating with these foreigners to ruin our economy, is to put some of them in jail, shut down a couple of banks.
Okay.
Sanusi did it now when he removed 5 bank MDs. Everybody sobered up. You've got to do these things. And
Indeed.
also, some of the governors, the EFCC and some of the security agencies, they will know what is going on. So I want to encourage them. Yes, I know I'm on air. They need to support what the president is doing. Otherwise, it becomes a hollow claim. Mr. President, I do not expect him, no matter how much I criticize him, to come down from Aso Rock and go and be arresting bankers and go and be talking against governors. He needs to be given the facts.
Okay.
And the security agencies know that these things can be happening without the banks, without the collusion of the banks. We are talking $26 billion.
Yes.
Okay. If I multiply that on my computer, I get error.
Indeed.
Okay. It's a lot of money.
$26 billion that the CBN says does not know what exactly it was all about. And we say, Binance, give us data. Who are your traders? Yes, there's banking confidentiality. Binance clams up and says no. But I'll tell you what, Okwe, this is not, as you know, a technical finance program. It's more of an all-commerce affair. So let's go through some rudimentary sort of explanation for our ordinary viewers. You know, there are Tokwe Ogulolu. When he comes around, yes, this is a hard-nosed technical economic program. But this is more of a general interest. Now, Binance is an online exchange where subscribers, users, can trade cryptocurrency. So we get into the area of speculation. Explain for the ordinary man who doesn't know very much, what is this noise about Binance and how has it become so dangerous that the CBN wants it, not just wants it, has actually blocked it. And now they themselves announced that, you know what, we're removing ourselves from the Nigerian market altogether. We're not dealing with the Nigerian Naira again. And I think today is the deadline they've set. Tell us how that works, that they became so dangerous, especially as they are not registered or regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Yeah, the primary premise of platforms like Binance is because they provide what I call anonymity, where you can trade, just like somebody buying stock on the stock exchange. It's something like that. But in the case of Binance and these cryptocurrency currencies, they provide anonymity, meaning that you, for instance, if you have $1 million, that you got through any means or whatever, whether legal or illegal, you can then use it to buy what they call cryptocurrency, which really are just digital a currency that are not real. You cannot see it in your...
And they provide a wallet. They provide a wallet for you.
They provide a wallet. Yeah, just like a bank account, they provide a wallet for you where you put your money, and from there you speculate. It's basically speculating in other cryptocurrencies, hoping that it will go up or it will go down. But the main thing there that is giving governments a fever is that there is no transparency. So a money launderer, a criminal, the minute he gets that money into Binance, it's like it's gone. You can't trace it. So US and other economies are afraid because all of a sudden you have this undocumented economy that is competing with your normal currency.
Yes.
And you don't know who is doing it. You don't know whether they are terrorists. You don't know whether they are thieves. And so they are supposed to have a KYC. You know, every bank, when you put your money in a bank, you have to provide all your information. You have to give them what they call KYC, know your customer. So what they are saying, what countries are saying, and I want the youth to get this so that they can support the government on, at least on this issue, is that you should have a KYC. We don't want terrorists to run over our country. We don't want people to take our money out. That this KYC that they do, yes, they may not, under the cryptocurrency, their own terms of running business, they don't disclose who exactly is behind that token. But it's a lie. They know because yes, the wallet they give you is anonymous. It doesn't have your name on it.
Yes.
It's difficult to know. But the wallet is tied to an identity. You give them your ID card. You give them your picture. You give them your address when you open the account. So the wallet really is tied to you. They are just not disclosing it. And US has been able to make them to come to an agreement or an arrangement with the US government.
Yes.
That is why the Binance in the US is very different from the Binance in Nigeria, even though it's the same company.
Exactly.
Okay?
You know,
there are some things.
Talking about just digging a bit deeper on this anonymity, which is the key selling point here, the anonymous aspect of it, even though you've explained that, but customers are known or subscribers are known. Now, this is linked to what
they are known.
In that world. They talk about a blockchain of which Binance has its own in-house brand. Talk to us a bit how this frustrates and sort of protects Binance and its wanting to remain anonymous. This blockchain device that frustrates the best of prying eyes from government or intelligence.
Yeah, because what this blockchain wants, the blockchain basically is call it to use the layman language, it's like anonymous system that once the transaction is done on it, you and I cannot decipher it. The crime fighters cannot decipher it because it's in the air. It's just a set of figures. And unless you have that wallet address and the password to get into it, you don't know what's going on. You can see the transaction, but you don't know who bought, who sold. Oh, they have what they call the Ether scan, where you can see every transaction going on. Even in Nigeria, even right now, anybody can go to Ether scan, you will see the transactions going on in Bitcoin. But you don't know who did it. You don't know where the money is. So that is where the KYC is, because Coinbase first started all of this, or rather the US government first went after them. That we understand that this transaction is anonymous. It's supposed to be something where there is no individual tied to a particular wallet address. But this wallet address was created by somebody that you got their ID from, that you got their whatever from. So we want to know if they are coming from a certain country, you cannot let them do transaction on your chain or we're going to shut you down.
Yeah.
So they reached an accommodation with the US. Why wouldn't they reach accommodation with us?
Okay, exactly.
Yes, it's anonymous. Yes, you cannot do it, but there's a way. That's why on the Binance, the US Binance, and I have an account right there. Okay, there are some cryptos that are in the Nigerian Binance that is not in the one that you can see in America. Because Americans, they somehow, without them making it public, they've reached some kind of accommodation with Binance USA. So a less shenanigan is going on there. And all we are saying is that they need to reach accommodation with us also. They might not necessarily give the exact names and whatever, but they should be able to follow some guidelines that CBN will give them to protect our own currency.
Exactly.
They know where the money came in. Each of these things have an API address, so they cannot say, oh, they don't know where the money comes. It's a lie. They do. The US already proved it.
They do.
So, but they don't want to deal with us like that. They believe that they are a jungle, that they are going to get away. And to me, this is the point, this is the time President Bola Tinubu Ahmed needs to prove this point to them. They are not going to go away. And Nigerian youths, you should be monitoring this. They cannot bribe people and then disappear.
All right.
But more importantly, too, let us be frank, Egbon, government needs to go also the old way. You can't do this thing one-sided. They also need to track down those who are siphoning money away through this Binance. It's not the regular boy on the street who has $500. Yeah. Okay, 26 billion did not come from the youths.
That's right.
It came from the big boys. That's why last week, when they went in there, the team went in every month. Once they get allocation, this madness starts on Binance. Everybody knows that. So who is getting money at the end of the month? Is these governors. So I expect, with all due respect, for Mr. President to give instructions to the necessary agencies. Let's make some examples. At least they can audit their own allocations. Where did these allocations go? The money was not given in Alimos Go bags. It was given through our banking system. They must have transferred that money somewhere. So if a governor got $1 billion in allocation, and all of a sudden 800 million of it has disappeared into somebody's peer-to-peer whatever, they can track it. let's not lie to ourselves, Binance or no Binance.
And that
the Nigerian government.
And that sort of, that explains, doesn't it, the importance of the need for them to be registered or regulated, both of which the Securities and Exchange Commission has denied having anything to do with. In other words, they're operating as a law unto themselves that are dangers for money laundering, dangers for terrorism. And but let me tie all of that quickly back to where you started from. You said you yourself have an account. So ordinarily, there's nothing really wrong in speculation. After all, the stock exchange is all about speculation too. But there's a way that this can be done responsibly and not this whole, I mean, this seems to be skewed, if that was the intention or not, towards dubious money and the laundering of it.
Yes, 100%. It's even for the protection of the Nigerians themselves, even the youths that are crying. You know, and I'm speaking to the youths directly now because I'm involved in this. It's like talking about Omega Pro. Over 200 billion was saffron from our economy very quietly. We are not even hearing much noise about it, despite me filing action on EFCC against them. It is for your own protection because if they are not registered, okay, they can wake up one day, take your money, and just disappear. And there's nothing you and I can do about it. We are not able to do anything about Omega Pro right now. Why? Because they were not registered with our agencies. So they have to register. Yeah. We are not saying I understand the anonymity of transaction, but there are some guidelines they have to follow.
Okay.
There are some guidelines to protect the country where they operate. Netherlands is doing the same thing with them. UK is doing the same thing with them. Every responsible country is trying to make sure they reach an accommodation with these crypto exchanges. That's why they are only very active in all those shithole countries where nobody can track them. All those Bermuda places you can find them.
Dr.
And they want to do it in